Okay, we have slides on, and it's 2 p.m. here in United States Central Zone. So welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being with us today. In some part of the world, it's evening, so we appreciate you a lot. It's my pleasure to host this webinar today, and most of this is going to be a Sitecore system, particularly speaking about upgrading your corporate Sitecore system. We have two wonderful guests today. One is coming directly from Sitecore company, it's Julia. And the second presenter and the second person who is actually drilled down in the topic and the technical details is Adam, who is speaking from Poland, from Infinity Group. This is the company which has a silver status of a Sitecore partner. So a lot of knowledge on their side. My name is Arek. I'm happy to host this webinar today. The goal of this webinar is to quickly give you an update, what is new on the Sitecore side when it comes to new system, and there is a lot of new stuff coming on the market, and it's already on the market. So it's very exciting part, more or less about 10-15 minutes. And then about 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes, something like that, Adam is going to elaborate more about what you can do to conduct this system, the upgrade of Sitecore system better on a higher level and mitigate all the risks. Plus, if you have a Sitecore system already and the license is purchased, you will learn how to enhance all the features that the Sitecore ecosystem offers. So I would like to now ask Julia for taking over the microphone and stage. And Julia, please introduce yourself a little bit, and then please introduce us to the Sitecore system development roadmap. What is already available? What is the future of the Sitecore system? Julia, please.
Hi, thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I am Julia Gebhart. I'm a product marketing manager at Sitecore. Before that, I was a customer of Sitecore for many, many years. I've been through a few upgrades myself. On the slide, you're going to see all the things I love: coffee, chocolate cake, beaches, my dog. I've already had 3 cups of coffee, so I'm fairly certain that we're going to get through these slides really quickly. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. And I'm going to start out talking about Sitecore Pillars. So recently, McKinsey did a global survey of executives, and they discovered that COVID-19 has accelerated digital transformation by 7 years. We've never lived in a more fast-moving, rapidly changing world than we live in today, and businesses are needing to move at an even faster speed than their customers. And nobody is doing that more than Sitecore. We're changing and moving along at this speed as well. We've seen a significant increase in discussions around composable DXPs, mainly because changing consumer behaviors are having a significant impact on how brands are thinking about and delivering customer experiences. We all know everyone has a I want it now, I want it customized attitude out there in the market. And composable DXPs support brands and marketers in accelerating their digital transformation initiatives. And since we've accelerated that with COVID, we really need to be in that space. And DXPs that are composable are using AI, machine learning to deliver consistent and really contextual communication through the customer journey, and leveraging omni-channel approach and integrating personalization. And also they're helping brands really kind of get those customer preferences to the forefront. So next, I want to talk about a DXP, the way Sitecore thinks about it now, or the way we're going to be thinking about it, as a composable platform with 9 different possibilities. Gartner says by 2023, 60% of all organizations are going to seek composability in some new application investment. So the notion of composability, it's not going away. It's not a fad. It's going to be critical and front and center component of customer experiences and strategies moving forward. And a composable DXP is not just an integrated set of core technologies. They're also technologies that you can use with your current MarTech stack. They're easy to build upon, use, implement, and adapt to your existing tech stack. So I am advocating that you should buy everything from Sitecore. I am advocating that, but you don't actually have to. You can use all of our different pieces, our digital asset management tools, content management, intelligent content search, along with customization, data management. You can use your own platforms or you can use ours. So what we think are the foundational elements of a DXP moving forward, what we're looking at is speed, relevance, agility, and flexibility. We want obviously speed, foundation of everyone's site. We want to have lightning fast experience. We want to greet customers with a personalized experience. We want it to be relevant content that engages our customers. And we want marketers to easily be able to orchestrate that content and these personal experiences as quickly and in real time as they can. And obviously for developers, we want the flexibility for rapidly to develop and deploy and launch new experience types with all the modern frameworks and front-end frameworks that are out there today. So this is kind of how we are looking at delivering optionality in the future. We want to bring a fully tailored solution to the market for customers. We want to be able to combine your content sources, your cloud applications, your technologies, different languages, hosting environments, and especially your choice of development and delivery environments. So it's all about the freedom of technology, right? Moving forward, we have that PaaS. You kind of can see this is sort of our current customer platform. We have Experience, Commerce, XP, XM, all together on the PaaS side. And then as we move to SaaS, you see how our composable DXP is formed with all of our different new product offerings. So I want to take you through each one of our pillars and each one of our new products. So in the content pillar, as we kind of see the content, experience, and commerce as the three main pillars of our DXP moving forward. Under content, we're looking at Experience Manager Cloud. The single tenant is available today, and Cloud Native is going to be available in the spring of 2022. Headless, as you know from us, headless CMS, de facto CMS architecture will be headless, including site layout, page management. Cloud native, it's re-architected for XM for the cloud. So we're hopeful, no more elastic scale upgrades, compatibility issues. Don't hold me to that, but that's what we're hopeful for. Jamstack ready, works with all modern front-end frameworks. And also our content delivery is going to be managed in Edge and accelerated with our CDN or yours. Bring yours, use ours. And then Sitecore Symphony will also be available in spring of 22. That's going to be front end as a service. It's going to connect with XM and Content Hub to embed all your visual assets, media, content directly into your UI. And it'll be personalization ready. We're going to talk more about Sitecore Personalize under the experience pillar. And it'll seamlessly configure for A/B testing and personalization. And also, of course, deliver headlessly. Can't not do that. That's our core. And then we're going to talk about experience. So Sitecore CDP is available today. It's powered by BoxEver. As you know, we acquired BoxEver earlier last year. And that gives you the ability to understand every user, to easily build segments and share them across your MarTech and your AdTech ecosystems. And also it's cookieless, no problem, non-PII mode. It's fully supported, security assured. And then we have Sitecore Personalize, which is also available today, also powered by BoxEver. Provides context and relevance, A/B testing, deploy new products and site changes in controlled manners, offers decisioning. So it's going to interface with your operational systems and AI to determine the next best experience for the customers, and ultimate flexibility. You can deploy client side, server side, or at the edge. And then Sitecore Send as well. We're going to add that. That's available today. That's really our email marketing tool, automated marketing programs, leveraging AI, let the system do the work for you. And our upcoming roadmap with Sitecore Send is SMS, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, instant messaging. We're very excited about that. And then I want to talk about our last pillar, which is commerce, which is really critical to all of our customers. So Sitecore Discover is available today. It's powered by Reflection, which is our newest acquisition that we announced just nearly a month ago. And with that, you'll have access to market-leading commerce search, product discovery platforms. You'll learn your visitors' preferences in real time, and it can build a shopper profile to get your visitors exactly what they're looking for on any device at any time. So also, we're going to have really good data-driven results with Sitecore Discovery, on-demand e-commerce KPIs, We're very, very excited about Sitecore Discover. And then Sitecore Order Cloud, which is kind of our next iteration from Commerce, and that is available today. The key difference with Order Cloud and why it was appealing to Sitecore to add is that it opened a whole other world of commerce use cases, right? Other than just simple like B2C market with like one catalog, one price, this platform can truly look just like your domain of your business with the extensibility to expand into multiple market opportunities. And also why it's also very appealing to us is end-to-end integration. So many SaaS commerce platforms offer APIs, but like it's simply to support a single point integration of like your internal ERP, your storefront. But the difference with Order Cloud is that it natively supports hundreds of suppliers and partners, and it directly integrates into Order Cloud's APIs. So it automates and reduces costs in commerce operations. We're very excited about that. And then Sitecore Search, which will also be available in spring of 2022. And that's AI assistance, personalized content results. You can preview your search. You can dynamically index across XM and Content Hub, and you can boost or bury search results. So that's going to be a really great upgrade for us at Sitecore with the Sitecore Search. So I want to talk about kind of our mission statement, really. So we're offering these 9 new products. We're going the route of composable, but we really want to talk about that it's optionality for us. It's configurability, it's innovation, it's being everything to our customers. If you're on a PaaS journey, on the SaaS journey, on the cloud journey, we're going to go with you. So we're going to be available for hybrid models, SaaS only, PaaS only, hybrid, whatever you want to do. Our goal is to expand our vision. Is what you'll see that's different from us in years past is our mission is to provide the market with the most configurable DXP spanning digital only, all the way to in-person use cases through a mock-aligned architecture that delivers continuous innovation for our customers and always optionality. And this mission statement's not only driving our future roadmap for Sitecore products, but it's also something that we're delivering on today with a lot of these composable solutions that are already in the market. This is really the path that we're going on, and we're really, really, really excited about it. And we're trying to create a path that's easiest to get to value for our clients. What's the fastest, easiest way to get there for everyone? And we want to excel in configuration over customization, and we want to offer the most deployment choices we can and the most freedom that we can to our customer base. So we're really excited about the path we're taking. There's going to be a lot of options, a lot of scalability, a lot of growth and experience for your customers. So we're really excited about where we're going, and we hope you come along with us on this great journey. And I appreciate the opportunity to discuss these slides. I wanted to get through them quickly because everyone is here to listen to Adam, and I know that. So Alec, thank you very much.
Julia, thanks so much. I was actually expecting that kind of overview of everything, and I need to admit that I might have questions later about this Facebook and WhatsApp, because we know that social commerce, everything like that, is booming, and the pandemic didn't even stop that, it accelerated that. And also this AI assistant, that's something personally I like. So thank you so much for taking us for a walk with the Sitecore. I appreciate that thing that those elements that you described. By the way, to everybody who is with us, please remember that you can shoot questions on the chat. This webinar is recorded. I should have told that before, that it will be available online afterwards too. So if somebody needs to go back to the responsibility and duties earlier before this webinar will come to the end, don't worry about that. Will be uploaded to our landing page. Will be available right there later. And now please let me ask Adam to go on a stage, I would say in a 3D world. Now just go to on a digital stage, introduce yourself a little bit, please, and share that deep dive knowledge. I know that Adam has a lot of experience with upgrading Sitecore for customers. So Adam, please share that insight with us, introduce yourself, and feel free to take over the stage right now.
Okay, Arek, thank you for the introduction. Hello, my name is Adam Cieśluk. I'm a senior software developer at the Infinity Group, in which I have working for over a dozen of years. For about 8 years, I have been participating in the projects that is based on the Sitecore platform. I started my journey with the Sitecore in project based on the Sitecore version 6 through the version 7, 8, 9, and right now I'm currently involved in the project that is based on the version 10. So I think I have some experience in terms of Sitecore solution. Yeah. So in this presentation, I will try to give you some general tips that I hope will allow you to go through the process of upgrading the Sitecore-based solution in a smoother and I believe safer way. As Arkadiusz mentioned, if you have any question and comments, please ask them on the chat, so we will try to answer them at the end of the presentation. Okay, I have one more thing to add. This is my first presentation, my first webinar, so forgive me if I make some kind of mistake or I get stuck. Okay, so let's start. Let's move to the first one. Okay, so the proof of concept. Based on our experience here in Infinity Group with upgrading the Sitecore-based system and other similar systems and application, we recommend to conduct a simple proof of concept before proceeding to the actual updates. In this case, such a proof of concept should be started with preparation of a copy of the development environment, and then we should proceed with the first steps in the upgrade procedure. So what exactly will such a proof of concept give us? There is several benefits of that approach. First of all, it might turn out that at this stage, we will be able to identify some problems and blockers that will cause the need to change the concept of the approach, of the updates, the concept of the approach. Secondly, it will allow us to better estimate the scale of the changes in the application source code. So this is also important. The third one, it will allow us to better define the schedule for the upgrade. So, of course, such a proof of concept is not required in the upgrade process, but right now I think it can be very useful especially in the large projects where upgrades may took some time. So in terms of time and timing, the time that you want to spend on such a proof of concept should reflect the scale of the project, and usually takes from a few days to, for example, 2 weeks. It is the best to include such a POC, proof of concept, at the end of the analysis phase. So first, we conducting analysis, and then we verify assumptions in such a proof of concept. So as for technical details, such a proof of concept usually consists of, as I mentioned, preparing the copy of development environment, so we don't affect the current project. So next, we should carry out as many update steps as possible within the time we decide to spend on this. We should solve the problems that arise on an ongoing basis, and at the end, it provide us for example, the way to scale, to estimate the scale of the number of changes in the code that we will entail in the upgrade. So I think this is good idea to include the proof of the such proof of concept in your upgrade processes. So let's move to the next one. So tip 2, prepare the fallback option. So I think this is my favorite one on this list. So one of the key factors that plays a role in the processes related to the upgrade is to ensure the highest possible level of the system availability and the security of the whole process. So the upgrade process itself can be organized in such a way that performing the upgrade procedure which may take, for example, a week or two or more, which will not result in a long time system downtime. However, after we go live of the new version, we might encounter unforeseen problems and errors that cannot be resolved in a reasonable time. So in this case, a situation might arise in which we must return to previous version of the system. Therefore, it is crucial to prepare such a possibility in advance. Okay, so the approach to preparing the fallback option should depend on the scale of the project, the available resources, and the impact of the system on the business and on the other systems. So, for example, in case of publishing on some simple hot fixes, it should be enough to back up, for example, only the application files, so they can be quickly restored in case of problems. Yeah. So, in another example, we have, for example, the website that is based on the Sitecore that is not critical, and we can afford some kind of maybe 2 day or 2 of downtime. In such scenarios, the fallback option might consist in performing a backup of, for example, the all systems elements like application files, database, the snapshots of virtual hosts, etc. In that case, it is important to prepare and verify the recovery procedure in advance. Okay, so I think the best approach to the fallback options, unfortunately, probably the most expensive one, is to prepare the fallback in the form of a copy of the entire environment. So in this approach, we should conduct the entire upgrade procedure on a copy of the environment. The original environment should remain unchanged and works all the time. In those cases, the publishing a new version of the system that will be upgraded involves only switching the traffic to an updated copy of the environment. In this case, rolling back, it's pretty simple because we only want to switch the traffic back to for example, the old environment in case of some problems. Yeah, so this is pretty safe approach. So this approach has also have many advantages. For example, I think it have minimum possible level of website downtime. It have the best speed of rolling back the changes, the simplicity of the fallback procedure. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, it is the most expensive because we need many more additional resources like servers, etc. So, okay, so I think it's all about this one. Let's move to the third. Okay, the stabilization period. Another element that I think and I believe it's very useful in the upgrade processes and should be included in every upgrade schedule is the stabilization period. In fact, the stabilization period applies to, I think, all the complex IT systems, not just the Sitecore-based solution. So the stabilization period is the period that begins immediately after the update is done and the system is available for the end user. So Duration of such a period depends mainly on the scale of the project and the changes related to the upgrade. So usually it's a period from a few days to, for example, several weeks in case of big projects. Okay, so you might be wondering what kind of work we can perform during this this stabilization period. So I think it is crucial not to introduce any new changes, functionalities in the project during this phase, because this period is primarily aimed to catching the problems that have not been detected and corrected at the stage of the upgrade and the testing, and we should solve them as soon as possible. So during this period, we also should allocate the team of developers and admins so that they can react quickly if the problem occurs. So in this period, we also should monitor the key key system parameters like application logs, web server logs, CPU load, response time of the key web pages, the scheduled task, the correctness of the collected data, etc. So this kind of activity is aimed to proactive and early detection of the problems. So if we don't include the stabilization period in the upgrade process, it might result in escalation of errors, which may lead to major failures or, for example, the data loss. So therefore, I encourage to always include it in the upgrade schedule. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, so the next one is verification of available required resources. So an important element related to the upgrade the Sitecore-based solution is the verification of resources. It is primarily about the technical resources like, for example, the servers, applications, services, operation systems, databases, etc. So at the initial stage of the upgrade, I mean in an analysis phase, before starting the real upgrade, it is worth to verify what resources are used by the current solution. Such verification should include, for example, checking the architecture, checking the versions and quantity of the used operation systems, checking the type, versions, and quantity of the used databases like SQL, MongoDB, etc. We need to verify if we used additional services and applications that might be used by the solution, like, for example, the Redis cache, Solar Cloud, or similar. Such type of task is aimed to determining whatever the elements of the current environment can be used maybe for the purpose of updating the solution. In some cases, you might find that certain resources may be freed. An example will be the MongoDB database. This NoSQL database was used in Sitecore version from 7.5 to 10, while in the latest Sitecore version it is no longer used. So it can be used in, for example, another projects. So the next step is to check what resources is needed for the Sitecore version we want to upgrade to. So here you need to be aware of the fact that different version of the Sitecore might have slightly different architecture. So, for example, in case of the latest version 10, the approach to hosting Sitecore solution changes quite a bit. In this version, a lot of emphasis was placed on the supporting containerization. In this case, we are using Docker. Thanks to this approach, we can save a lot of resources like CPU, RAM, disk storage, which is traditional, which in the traditional model were used, for example, by the operation systems, and it's just wasted. So at this stage, the key is to verify whether the existing technical resources are enough to launch the new version of Sitecore, or whatever additional resources need to be provided. So let's move to the next one. Okay, so here you have some compatibility tables where you can check which version of the Sitecore require which version of the, for example, the databases, for example, the operation system, etc. Okay, the next one, maybe not the most important, is the tip that referring the keeping only what is needed and used. So I think the moment of upgrading our Sitecore solution can be also used as a good moment to carry out some work that is related to the cleaning up the solution. So we are talking about both the data and the source code. So as the update is usually associated with the intensified tests and stabilization period, the negative impact of such type of work might be minimized. For example, if any problems arise as a result of those actions, they should be detected and corrected early before we go live. So in the upgrade processes, we usually, as developers, need to do some programming work, such as updating libraries, fixing code related, to, for example, to the API changes in the Sitecore, running the scripts, etc. On the occasion of those changes, we may consider to spend some time and effort to refactor some part of the source code. For example, we can remove the code that are not used anymore. The same is true for the data. So at this point, it is worth to review the Sitecore content tree and verify whether we have, for example, unused items that we can rid of. So in the case of the, so another case is the Sitecore analytical data. There were cases where the migration of such data to the new version may cause some unexpected problems. That is especially true if we upgrade from a very old version of Sitecore, and we have many steps in the upgrade process. Because we know from experience that solving problems that is related to this can take really take a lot of time. Also, as a benefit, the reducing the amount of data will have of course, the positive impact on your system in terms of performance. So I think this is the tip that we should think about, and it's good to include this in our upgrade process. So let's move to the next one. Okay, so the next one is discovery stage. So this is the stage when we conducting the analysis. So one of the most important phases in the update process of course, is the analysis. So the main part of the, I think the main part of the analysis phase should be the discovery stage. So during this phase, we conduct analytical work to prepare us for the update, to create some kind of plan and steps we conduct during the real update. So what type of work should be done in this step? So I think we should conduct an inventory of environment and available resources. So it is good practice to verify what resources is used in the environment before starting a real upgrade process. Thanks to this, we will avoid surprises related to, for example, some undocumented changes in the architecture or some missing elements or something like that. So we will be prepared for that. So the next one is referring the integration. So an important element of the analysis is to check with which systems the updated one is connected to. The primary goal of this is to check, to determine the impact of the upgrade system on the external systems. For example, if an external systems used the REST API implemented in solution based on the Sitecore, then if the upgrade results in, for example, the downtime of the website, it might cause the problems in the operation of those external systems. So we should take it in the consideration. So the next one will be developing an approach to upgrade process. So the main task of this discovery phase is to work out an approach to upgrade. In real world, there is no two Sitecore based systems that are the same. So the upgrade process for each will be different. Some of them can be relatively simply. In some cases, it can be quite complicated problems. For example, due to the inability to freeze the changes in the production environment. Okay, so the next one will be define the upgrade schedule. So during the analysis phase, it is worth to prepare a schedule of individual tasks that will be performed during the upgrade process. Thanks to this, we will be able to control at what stage of the process the update is. Okay, then the last one, I think it will be identify the parties that will be involved in the upgrade. It is important to identify at the analysis phase which people or parties will be involved in upgrade and when we will need them. So, for example, when we need the software developers, when we need the administrators, when we need the people that is responsible for external systems. Okay, so I think the last one will be to check, to verify the impact of the upgrade on the other systems in the whole environment. So, as I mentioned before, it is in one of the points above, it is if other systems are dependent on the upgraded one, it is necessary to work out an approach to upgrade with the owners of those systems. So in terms of tip 6, I think it's all. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Okay, in the next one, as you can see, I presented an example of the upgrade, example of this sample upgrade process, upgrade procedure. So in that example, I assume that we conduct the copy of the environment. So in that scenario, I assume that we have enough resources to use in such a approach. So, as you can see, we start the process with the analysis phase. During this phase, we should develop a detailed update procedure. In the next step, as I suggest earlier, we should perform the proof of concept, where we try to verify the procedure developed at the analysis stage. So after that, we will probably update the procedure using the conclusions that will appear at the proof of concept stage. After above steps, we can start the work related to the upgrade the project. I mean, the upgrade the software, the Sitecore application, the Sitecore instances, etc. So first, we should prepare the environment on which we will perform the upgrade. So we should start with prepare the copy of, for example, the development environment. Then we should prepare the copy of the test environment, and finally the production one. So after that, I think we should prepare the fallback procedure in case of some kind of critical errors. After that, we may move to the perform the real upgrade. First, we should perform that upgrade on the development environment, then, of course, on test environment, and if all is okay, we should move to the production environment. Of course, we should conduct tests on each of those environments, so we will be sure that there is no errors, problems in the process. So after updating the production environment and testing the key functionalities, we can switch the traffic from the old version of the Sitecore to the new one. So after that, after the new version is live, we may move to the next phase, that is stabilization. So after launching the website, we should start to monitoring the key elements of the new version of the solution, and to verify if all is working okay. So I think this can be treated as some kind of sample upgrade procedure that you can use in your upgrade procedures. Yeah. So let's move to the next one. Okay. As we all well aware of the, so we are all well aware of the importance of the broadly understood security in the IT systems. So it is crucial that we detect that detected security problems are solved as quickly as possible. In this aspect, Sitecore is known for its excellent approach to this issue and provides security fixes very quickly. Therefore, if we have a Sitecore-based solution, it is important to, for example, check the Sitecore security builtins frequently and on a regular basis. So, Sitecore security builtins are published on the Sitecore knowledge base. I will try to show how it looks like. So here you have links to this Sitecore security builtins. Of course, okay, so typically the security bulletins contains information about the problems, affected versions, and the descriptions of the solution to the problem, and usually links to for example, the hotfix files. So after we check the security bulletins for example, the problems in our versions, it might turn out that we need to do a small update in the near future. So I think this is important to check the built-ins frequently. Another important topic is the Sitecore support period. So on the website, I give you a link in this tip 8. There is information describing this topic in detail. So I encourage you to read the whole page. So what interests us the most in that context is the information by when the security updates and fixes will be delivered. So I will try to outline the key information. So I will try to outline the key information. So as you can see in the first table, Sitecore product support has been divided into 3 phases: the mainstream support phase, the extended support phase, and sustaining support phase. So the security updates and fixes are prepared for the products in the mainstream and extended phases. In the table below, we can find information on which phase. So in this table, you can find information on which phase the different Sitecore versions are currently in. So for example, if we take the Sitecore 9.3, we can see that security patches will be delivered by the end of the 2025. So thanks to this information, we will be able to prepare the Sitecore update in advance. It will allow us to avoid situation where we have some security problems and our solution, and we will not be able to count on hotfixes from the Sitecore. So I think it's crucial to verify the end of the support date for our Sitecore version. Okay, so let's move to the 9 tip. This tip, I believe, is targeting mainly the software developers. So in general, Sitecore update procedures can often consist of multiple steps with various configuration changes being made. So we know from experience that tracking those changes can be crucial in case of, for example, problems that appear during the update of after the launching the new version of the Sitecore. So, for example, if in the process we miss one small change in the configuration file that is, for example, connected to the content indexer, it might result in some problems with search function. So, but this can be noticed after some time. So if we use some kind of version control systems like Git to store information about such changes in configuration files, we will be able to quickly detect such problems. In that case, we can simply verify in Git, for example, if all necessary changes was done. So additionally, using the commit comments, we can describe why the changes are made when we make the changes that is related, for example, to the upgrade process. Okay, so if you use this mechanism, be careful, because we should not to store any sensitive data such as password and keys or usernames in the for example the Git repository. Okay, let's move to the last one. Okay, as we all know, the technology I think is aging very quickly, This is especially true for the software project, where several years, or I believe it's like a centuries. So this may cause a situation in which the project over the time, over the time the technological depth increased. So this applies both the application itself like Sitecore, and the resources that the application use like operation systems or databases. So in order to counteract this situation, we should update the Sitecore-based project as often as possible. So, for example, in case of Sitecore version 9, we have 4 smaller version that came out like 9.0, 9.1, 2, and 3. Those versions were released approximately at annual intervals. So there is a space for performing upgrades to those versions. In some cases, in my turnout, that performing several smaller upgrades may be, I believe, less expensive and risky than trying to jump several versions at once. So there is one more thing that referring this. What about the project under the development? So in case of projects that are still in progress, it is worth to spend some time and resources to release the applications that use the highest possible version of the Sitecore. So when we start a project as developers, we usually use the highest stable version of the Sitecore. So during the project, it might took some time, and it is possible that a newer version of the Sitecore will come out. So, in my opinion, it is worth considering to upgrade such a project in a development phase. So, for example, if we start the project using version, for example, 9.2, and the version 9.3 was released before we published the project, we can consider to upgrade the project to version 9.3 at this stage. So I think it will be less expensive solution than a separate upgrade process after the project is published. Of course, this may result in, for example, the postpone of the publication date of the project, but thanks to this, at the start of the project, we will reduce the technological debt that is related to the aging the system, and we also probably increase the support period for our solution, for our Sitecore solution. So I think this one is the last one that I prepared for today's session. I hope they will be useful for you.
Thank you, Adam, very much. Thank you so much for such a deep insight about upgrading the Sitecore system. We have a few questions on the chat, but before I go to them, I want to ask first one, which is actually to Julia. It's a very interesting one because, Julia, you mentioned before we started a webinar that on the customer side you went through several upgrades, and you were on the field right there working on that upgrades. And the question is like, how was it? I mean, can you share your experience, maybe some tips or something you remember that is actually helpful? Because our attendees might don't know that you actually were on the customer side conducting or being a part of the upgrades as a resource, as a person, as a leader. So could you share a little bit about that with us?
I saw the question in the chat, was it worth it? Yes, it is worth it to upgrade. You have to upgrade. I would say that I thought Adam's tip was wonderful, that small upgrades are best. That's, I think, a great tip to have. I think once we tried to bite off more than we could chew, and this too large an upgrade, and it turned into a larger project, and we couldn't actually upgrade, and it was very difficult. So I think that planning and discovery and making sure that you have a lot of people on hand is the best way to go, and smaller chunks are better. Smaller upgrades over more frequent smaller upgrades is the way to go. I think the most important thing is having a good partner, an implementation partner. I think that one of the companies I worked for made the mistake of thinking they could do it themselves. And I think that that's not the best way. It takes a group, a team of professionals, people who've done it before multiple times, who've been through this before, who can recognize and troubleshoot very quickly. It is very difficult to troubleshoot an upgrade internally when you haven't been through it before. And once you're with someone who has been through it before, it becomes a much smoother transition and much easier.
Okay.
So I would say that having a great partner to work through it, really planning it out and doing it in smaller pieces is the best way to do it. Because I think trying to say, we're going to do it all in a month,
Right.
It's going to be done, that's not going to happen, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So smaller pieces with a good partner and making sure you have a lot of the stakeholders together. It's more than, I think Adam said this in one of his slides, very critical. It's not just the website you're upgrading. You're really upgrading many, many systems. And it's best to have the experts for all those systems and the stakeholders to be involved and test throughout it to figure out what's going on and to make it smoother. And also understanding it won't be perfect. There will be a stabilization period. There'll be bug fixes to go through, and that's okay.
Right.
Everyone goes through that. All brands. No one turns the switch and it's perfect day one. I haven't heard of that scenario yet. And if someone tells me that happened, they're not telling the truth because it doesn't work that way on an upgrade. So yeah, that's what I
like
would say.
that.
That's my advice.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Julia, so much. And I'm so happy we have you here because I realize right now that you are now with Sitecore, but you spend many years on the other side of the table. So it's a very unique perspective. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And I would like to ask a question now, share the question with Adam, which is actually the good one. I'm sorry, I'm trying to act as a judge here because we have at least 10 questions, but I'm trying to pick up those that might be kind of like, really like upgrade related. All of them are really upgrade related, but those one are like, if you answered, somebody will have a direct advice. So the question is, how much time before the end of the support period of a given version of Sitecore should we plan the upgrade process? Otherwise, if you are a leader and if you say, hey, my support, my maintenance agreement or something, a contract will be finished in half a year, for instance. So how much time before should I do the planning? Should I conduct planning to make sure that the upgrade will be properly designed, conducted? And as Julia mentioned, and you, Adam, mentioned, after the upgrade, we still have this time that we make sure that everything's settled down properly. So.
Okay, so in terms of how much time, I believe, so based on my experience, it depends on the scale of your project, yeah, because
okay.
Yeah, so because I have experience in project that the upgrade took some time, like 2 or 2 months. So it took us 2 months to resolve all the problems that arise on the for example the production environment. And I think we need to, for example, at most few months before the end of that period. So I think we don't want to upgrade in the last month of the support phase.
But let me ask a follow-up question. Let's say you're like medium-sized company, for instance, like 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people. You are not like a 100,000 people conglomerate that is present all over the world. But let's say you're a medium-sized company and you want to conduct that. So what would that be, like 2 quarters, like 6 months, something like that? Could you estimate that a little bit?
Yeah, I believe it will be some kind of 6 months. Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty important, because we know that everybody has resources that are limited. Everybody is busy. It's hard to acquire new talent from the market because it takes time. Onboarding takes time. So, okay. Luke has a question to Julia, and this question is like, I would like kind of make it shorter, that Sitecore has acquired many products and put them together as a one platform, but this infinity loop you shared before, it's kind of like a state that. So I think the question is, do you think that right now we can treat Sitecore's offering as a complete one and focus on getting all the parts together, or maybe we should expect adding new bits to the puzzle soon, which I understand is something like, should we just now try to explore as much as we can inside the Sitecore offering and bring as much enhancement as we can to life, or we should also consider adding the external things and build more like internal, external solutions? So Julia, please help us to understand this.
It depends. It depends what your goals are of your organization and how much you've already invested in your current MarTech stack. Obviously Sitecore product work better together, integrate perfectly. It's going to be a cohesive unit. It'll all integrate perfectly. But you need to figure out what's best for your organization. Like, what are these tools? Are they integrated into? Do you have a lot of back-end systems that are like, do you have inventory manufacturing kind of barcode systems and inventory that's kind of real-time updating that you also have to integrate that in? Like, what are, with commerce piece, so what are your personal goals and what can you do? I would say that it really is going to depend on what you also currently have installed and what version you're on, right? So if you're on a later version, it's going to be easier to add on pieces of them. It's not going to be that as much of an effort as if you're on a much, much older version and you're still going to have to upgrade to a newer version to be able to utilize some of these pieces. So it's really going to depend on your personal situation. And I would say that if you really are considering this, is to talk to your account rep and to your implementation partner and come up with a kind of a customized solution for your current situation, what your goals are, short-term and long-term, and what you can invest in and how much time you have. So I think it's it would be a different answer for every partner. But yeah, I'm going to say that they're better together. Get all the pieces you can of that infinity loop. It's going to be amazing, but it's going to be really dependent on your current situation and what version you're on.
Okay, thank you. To all the attendees, we are 6 minutes past. We passed the webinar time 6 minutes ago, but I think I can still ask 2-3 questions. Because I think even for the recording, it would be great if you can get back later and listen to the answers from the real people which are on the stage right now. Adam, I have a question from other person. Is the fallback option is really necessary? It's pretty direct question, no follow-up information required.
Yeah, definitely. If we don't prepare the fallback options, I believe we may end up with for example, the permanently damaged the Sitecore instance. So we may also lose some data. So I think it is very important to prepare some kind of escape plan to be prepared for some kind of catastrophic failure. Yeah. So without this, no.
Okay. So the answer is pretty clear. And one more question to you, Adam, is like, it was actually to Julia and Adam, but I think it's more to Adam. This is new composable version, many bricks put together, requires much more integration. It's not a threat for stabilization of the system, which I believe from the cybersecurity part and also like ongoing processes and everything like that is important. So what do you think, Adam?
Okay, of course, this kind of approach require much more effort in test area. So I think when we used some kind of composable version of elements, we need to invest invest much more time in terms of testing and creating some automatic test and something like that. So Of course, it might be a threat, but this is the good approach to the architecture, I believe. So right now, all the architecture moving to the some kind of microservices architecture, and this is exactly the example of this. Yeah.
Okay. And I think I have a last question. I promised to get back to you, to Julia, and ask 2 questions regarding your first slides. And I know I'm asking about the features, so I don't want to go to technicals. But what caught my attention was first the integrations, or whatever we call it, with all the social media. We know it's huge, and I'm asking from the social commerce perspective as well. If you can tell us a little bit about that, because I think it's very, very interesting. Like today, this morning, I was reading a report about how in United States the social commerce is going to grow through the next 5 years. It's going to be tremendous growth. So I guess it's something like I want to put as in the context. And the second, the same question by 2 features is AI assistance. You mentioned that inside. Also today, I was reading like how voice search and searching for solutions quickly and making decision by end users quickly, it's important. And AI assistance, search, stuff like that, it's so important when it's from the market perspective. So just the question, like, if you can tell us about the features, maybe what do you think about it, what is in the product, just a general question. But I want to focus about these 2 things, like AI assistance and social media.
So the social media, so the Sitecore Send, it's basically what we're envisioning is, today, if you are sending out, obviously everyone is sending out email offers, right? You're sending out offers and nurture campaigns in email, and obviously that will continue. And it's really branching that out to go into someone's feed. So like right now, I know a lot of you, if you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook, they ads come out, right? They're actually ads, but they're ads placed through the social media campaigns. It's through an ad network.
Okay.
We're looking more to actually using Sitecore Send as the platform where you're going to automate your campaigns that would send to everything. It's going to send it through email. It's going to send it through Facebook, Instagram.
Right. I see.
As if you are just doing an email campaign. It's really for ease of the marketer to be able to automate and get all of that data together, to be able to feed it back to your CDP and be able to, have actionable results from that, and to know what campaign to move to next and how to personalize even further. So it's basically just taking a lot of the separate campaigns and work and siloed work and putting it into one system. So you're able to, the way you do an email campaign, you're going to be able to do it socially as well. So that's kind of the goal of Sitecore Send. And then the AI enablement is really kind of, that's where everything is kind of going, right? It's AI is machine learning, is to learn quicker, to be able in real time to see what a user is doing on your site or with their engaging with your other devices, your app, or on any other platform, and quickly using that information to be able to filter results to them. It's sort of like the concept of what Google is doing today, right? It's being able to become Google for your customers on your own site with your own apps. So what Google now, if anyone doesn't know, when you search, you're not just getting search based on anonymous. It's taking all of your behavior you've ever done on Google and feeding that in, and then giving you the results it thinks you want, not necessarily maybe what you're actually wanting, but what Google thinks you want. So it's being able to actually do that for your customers, hopefully with more educated data and experience and behavior of your customers that actually come to your site and interact and engage with your materials and your content, that you'll be able to actually use AI to feed them results and search results and things that they're interested in based on their behavior, their purchases, their previous purchases, their previous versions. It's sort of replacing the cookies that we're not going to really be able to have anymore. It's sort of using AI to be that with search and with product placement. So it's kind of replacing what we're losing in kind of the next iteration and generation of that.
Right. And that things about like cookieless and that things like that's important, because we know all the platforms are trying to win the market share by giving more and more privacy on the user side. So that's very, very interesting.
Yeah. And all the data is showing that even though privacy is a huge concern, consumers are saying, I'll give you my information. I'll give you all you need if you give me something personalized and a special offer just for me. So it
Right.
was kind of working in tandem with that.
Right, of course, and not like today. I was purchasing something because of the Black Friday coming, and I changed my default location, and I didn't
Yeah.
even realize. And the store asked me, "Hey, do you want to update the location because we might get the better deal where you are right now?"
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. I want to share that location because I want to get that better deal. Of course, I want to make sure that I kind of control that, maybe change later or switch it off, but that's a different story. I still can want to share my data to get the best deal. So I guess the Sitecore is going to support that from the AI perspective as well.
Yes.
Which is very cool. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. It's like 15 minutes after the time. So I believe that some of you just stay with us and they're wondering when we'll be saying goodbye. So.
Oh.
Oh.
Did I disappear?
You're saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said goodbye.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
We can.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Something switched on my computer, but I'm back. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing that roadmap of Sitecore. We really appreciate that. Also, it's so cool to hear your perspective, to listen to your perspective, because you also were on the customer side, which for me personally, I believe for all the attendees, it's very unique perspective. Adam, thank you very much for sharing all the tips and good practices and links as well. Please, everybody, remember that you will that all the links are inside the deck, and the deck will be available for everybody, so you can navigate to that part of the Sitecore and use your cybersecurity comparison tables on the resources tables, whatever was shared. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. And expect an email through with us when everything will be online. So we want to go back and watch it again or share with your peers. It will be right there. Everybody, please have a great day and happy Thanksgiving to everybody who is celebrating that incredible day, and have a great time with your family and friends.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.